everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones. Welcome in, y'all. Boy, do we have a very interesting show for you guys tonight. And I have our good friends, Gerald and Jane Fountain of Midwest Night Watchers in the studio with me tonight. Surprise, surprise, y'all. We are going to have two separate remote viewing targets tonight that we're going to be discussing. One of them does deal with the California wildfires that are going on right now. I think it was yesterday, either yesterday or day before, there was a UFO. It looked like a UFO spotted on a live news feed on Fox News, I believe, that shot through the air over one of the fires. And that was actually tasked to me as a coordinate remote viewing target to find out what the heck that thing was. And we're going to talk about that tonight. I got some very interesting data. It's quite compelling, actually. And we're going to get into that discussion tonight. And we're also going to be looking into the Alabama dragon. Well, the suspected Alabama dragon. Gosh, that was given to me as a coordinate remote viewing target a little while back as well. We're going to discuss that data tonight. And if you guys will remember, back in July, one of my teams, Cryptid, well, it's actually CW. Okay, it's the acronym CW Operations and Survival. Some of us went to Alabama on a Dogman hunt or investigation. And we got there and encountered a man who was hiking out of the woods carrying a big stone and claimed that was part of a dragon's wing, a petrified dragon's wing. That was examined in a remote viewing session, and I have some really interesting data on that too. Okay, so y'all buckle up. Y'all know this show never disappoints. I tell you what, we're always looking into something weird and something exciting. And I do want to also send my love and my prayers out to everybody who's been affected out in California by these wildfires. These are no joke, y'all. This has been a total nightmare for a lot of people. A lot of people living out in California and Southern California, including a lot of our viewers and people who've actually been on my show. We got a brown dwarf, aka Bigfoot dwarf, and he's been out there giving live updates for the past couple of days. And so shout out to Bigfoot dwarf out there. Also Robin and Mike and Heidi Pop as well. And so please check in with us, y'all. If you're out there, let us know you're okay if we hadn't heard from you yet. Okay. So everybody, please send your prayers, put your prayers up for all the people out in California affected by the fires. Okay. All right. Well, let's get into our show today, okay? I do have a little bit more business. We did postpone the UFO conference that I was supposed to be scheduled to be at on Saturday. We are postponing that until February the 1st. Okay, Saturday, February the 1st in Blue Ridge, Georgia. That's when we've rescheduled it. The kids are out of school tomorrow here in Georgia. We're having an ice storm. Yes, I'm stocked up on toilet paper and on bread and milk. Coffee. Thank you, Maureen, by the way. Maureen sent me some coffee, y'all. Thank you so much, Maureen and Gus. You guys are the best. I've got some Sasquatch coffee. Okay. But we are totally stocked up. We're good. We should be hunkered down pretty well for tonight and tomorrow and Saturday if we need to be here. But we are going to be experiencing some bad weather, they said. The next few days. So they did postpone that conference. But I will also be next weekend. I will be at the East Alabama Bigfoot Town Hall. That's finally coming up, y'all. So please come see me down in Opelika, Alabama. If you're in the Alabama area, January the 18th, it's all day Saturday with Tyler Howell, Del Boswell, David Hewlett, Stacy Brown Jr., Flat Rock, Bobby Dizzle, myself, and all the guys from Squatch Seekers of the South. That is a great event. So I hope you guys will come see us there. They're so prepared for this thing. I'm so excited. It's going to be a wonderful event. Okay. Also, if you guys would like to follow along with all of my archives of my shows and all that kind of stuff, please go to thecryptidhuntress.com. You can find my social media links there. Anything you need to know about the Cryptid Huntress is right there on that website. Also, I do have a Patreon if you guys would like to support my work. All of the remote viewing data is posted on my Patreon. right now. So please become a member of my Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel. And I appreciate all of my members from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much. And also, I got a shop, y'all. It's called War Woman Goods. Thank you for your support. It's on Etsy. Okay. It's on Etsy. Also, one last thing. I did talk to John Vendeventer. He did get out of the hospital yesterday. So shout out to John. He's celebrating Christmas with his wife tonight. Okay. So thank goodness he's feeling better and things are going great. Prayer works. So thank you guys for all the continued prayers for our friend and frequent co-host, John Vendeventer. Please go purchase his books if you get a chance at relicsbooks.com. All right. Let's get to our show. Shall we? Okay. Y'all, thank you so much for all my moderators and everybody that's in here tonight. Y'all are just the best. Okay, so in July of 2024, my cryptid field research team, one of them, I'm on like 4 or 5, but one of them, CW Operations and Survival, we were on a Dogman investigation in the deep woods of Alabama. We called it Operation BAMADOG. As we were unloading our vehicles, a man hiked out of the woods holding a large stone, claiming it was the wing of a petrified dragon. And then he guided us over to where this dragon was located in the woods. The entire hillside appeared to be the entire body of a dragon. It left us all perplexed, and we were wondering if dragons really could exist in the deep woods of northern Alabama. Yes, I did remote view this, y'all. Then on a recent live news feed on Fox, what appeared to be a UFO buzzed across the screen over the Eaton fire in Southern California, part of the California wildfires that are happening right now. Could this be an actual extraterrestrial spacecraft, flying debris, or something man-made, or something else? We don't know what it is. I might know what it is. Well, I was tasked with all of both of those as remote viewing targets, and I have some of the best night watchers, sky watchers that I know here in the studio with me today. I have Gerald and Jane Fountain of Midwest Night Watchers. You guys, please go to their YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't already. They have live camera feeds pointed to the sky out on their property. They have their farm animals on live feed and things like that. But they have a great channel. They have live shows throughout the week. Please help me welcome to the show our good friends, Gerald and Jane Fountain of Midwest Night Watchers. Hey, y'all.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We love coming on your show.
You mentioned Sasquatch coffee. I have some of that. That's some of the best coffee ever.
It's so good.
It's actually coffee.
It is. It's actually Black Rifle Coffee. A wonderful, I think it's a veteran-owned coffee company, and they have, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's like a Squatch Tactical.
Yeah, Sasquatch Coffee Company, something like that. Yeah, best coffee.
Man, it's so good, and some of the best coffee. It'll wake you up in the morning, and it'll keep you up. It'll keep you up. So be careful, don't drink too much. Okay, it's so good. But yeah, speaking of up. Okay, I know you guys keep your eyes to the skies, and unfortunately, there have been some terrible wildfires going on out in California, and also some UFO activity potentially as well over those wildfires. Are you guys following what's going on out there?
Oh yeah.
We first found out about it because of Brown Dwarf's live. You know, at first he thought it was a cloud, and he said, "Oh, that's smoke." So when he first went on, that's when we found out that it was just starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been following it ever since, and I've been watching a lot of different feeds on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I actually, that was the first time that I found out about it as well, was watching Brown Dwarf or Bigfoot Dwarf. Yeah.
Bigfoot Dwarf, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's actually easier to find him on YouTube now that he's Bigfoot Dwarf. Okay, because he's the only Bigfoot Dwarf on there. But yeah, that was the first time I heard about it, that I found out about it. And it has just exploded since then. I mean, the wildfires are out of control, literally. And so many people are affected by it. A lot of our good friends have been affected by it, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
Lady, Bigfoot Dwarf, Robin, who's usually in the chat, and Mike Prine, who's in the chat. and countless others. So, but it did seem like there might have been a UFO that flew over the fires.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? A UFO, and it's not uncommon to see UFO activity over natural disasters.
Right.
And things like that. We were just talking yesterday with Barry and Dennis about reptilians being seen at places like during Hurricane Katrina, and that kind of a natural disaster. But UFOs are pretty prominent during natural disasters too.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Carol and I were talking that Los Angeles is known for reptilians being underneath the city. Are they going to start coming out?
Oh my gosh.
Because of the fires?
Ooh, yeah.
Well, if they don't have good seals on their doors going to their tunnels, I bet they're not very happy about all that water seeping in.
Makes you wonder what's going on underground too because of these fires.
It does. Well, everything to me is very suspicious. It always is. I'm the kind of person that thinks outside the box, and I side eye everything that happens like this. And I say natural disaster loosely, okay, because it's not always natural. Sometimes this is for entertainment purposes only, y'all. By the way,
well, every time we hear something, whether it's a disaster, a fire, a flood, weather control, you always got that in the back of your mind. Okay, is this natural? Is this some other kind of plan going on that we're seeing unfold?
Hi, Heidi.
Yeah, Heidi's in the chat. Hey, Heidi, we were just talking about you. We hope you're okay. Yes, thank you. I always have my wonderful mods. Okay, you guys are my mods too. Wonderful mods always reminding me this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, because the things we talk about can be kind of sensitive for YouTube purposes and stuff, and that's why people are watching this and listening, wondering why I say that all the time. It's just to cover my butt. Okay, to cover our butts over here, so to speak. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. I know this is kind of an odd combo, like doing a show with like a UFO and the wildfires, and then something different. It's a dragon. There's not a connection. I just want everybody to know there's not a I'm not connecting the two. Okay, but we're just doing two separate targets tonight. But it's I thought it was important that we do cover something like this. A lot of people are talking about this alleged like UFO that flew over the fire. So so I figured let's look into this tonight.
Yeah, just like you said, it's not the first time. I mean, California's had other footage of UFOs during wildfires, and like you said, volcanoes. They seem to show up during volcanoes, and right in the middle of where it's erupting, and you can see the pictures and videos of the lightning and thunderstorms that come along with that, and it's almost like they're drawing energy or they're there for a reason.
I've been seeing that too. The UFOs coming out of volcanoes. Actually, a good friend of mine sent me some videos of that just today. It's either today or yesterday. Of UFOs coming out of volcanoes. Like, how wild is that? What a great place to hide, by the way. Right? I mean, that's the last place I would ever look, I would think, for UFOs to be coming in and out of. But
well, who could go in there to see if there's a base or a hidden place down in a volcano? Because it's always usually active or hot lava, and
really strange. But so that would actually kind of make more sense. There'd be a UFO flying over a fire. If it is like an extraterrestrial UFO, that kind of a thing, it would make sense that it would be a UFO over the fire. Then if they can withstand heat like that, I guess. So, but then again, we look at the whole aspect of this being like Caleb Jade's in the chat. Hey, Caleb, he said naturally unnatural or unnaturally natural, I think is what he said in the chat. And I've seen some pretty suspicious looking videos, and I'm not saying the videos look suspicious. I'm saying what the activity that they're recording is suspicious, which looks like lasers coming down and things that are actually causing some of these fires. Looks like it's coming from the sky. Okay, with some of these, so there could be something that's not natural about this too, that's going on. I don't know. I'm not accusing the UFOs of doing it, but something above the clouds could be.
Well, you have to wonder, with the New Jersey drones spreading out across the country, 'cause we've seen them here and over Chicago, and they're spreading out across the country. And there was actually another video besides the one UFO. There was another one with a pink glowing light behind the smoke of the fire, and it was rotating almost like you would see those videos from the New Jersey drones.
Wow. I didn't see that one. Wow.
Oh no. Oh wow. Well, you know what? I do have, gosh, we've got so many people. I wanted to pull up a bunch of comments, but there's so many. It's moving so fast, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna pull up comments just a little bit because I wanted to show some pictures of a map of like where the fires are and what exactly is going on out there. The UFO in question, okay, the video in question that we're going to be looking into tonight is actually a video out of Eaton, where the Eaton fire is. Eaton. Okay, I know I'm Southern, so I got a weird accent, y'all. The Eaton fire, right there it's to the west, or excuse me, to the east of Los Angeles, right there. And man, there's as of last night. Okay, this is off of a screenshot that I got. Said the Eaton fire is burning more than 1,000 acres. That was last night, but this fire is ongoing, right, guys?
Oh yeah,
It's getting worse.
There's still new fires coming up. I think today there was last night there was Studio City, and then now there's one. The Kenneth fire just popped up today, so they still are having gusts of winds, and they're still having difficulty containing these fires that are active.
Yeah. Bigfoot Dwarf's in the chat. Hey, Bigfoot Dwarf.
Yay, there's Brown Dwarf.
Okay. So, okay. So, and somebody was asking if you're okay in the chat, Bigfoot Dwarf. You're in here, so thank goodness. All right. So here's a couple of pictures. I didn't upload a ton of pictures. It's actually quite devastating.
Right.
Looking at some of these, and it's really sad. The devastation. It very much reminds me of the Maui fires. Okay, it really does. With the anomalies. And it's really sad that this is not an actual firefighter, I don't believe, but I was watching as some of the firefighters were trying to douse the flames with water out of their fire truck that they were putting into purses and bags and stuff.
I saw that.
That
Yeah.
was wild. Like,
I saw that. And then they're running and just dumping like these grocery bags, plastic grocery bags filled with water.
that's horrible.
Mhm.
That shouldn't happen. That should not be. I don't know who allowed all this mess to happen. Okay. And I don't know, I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself right now. Okay. I'm gonna keep my opinion to
No
myself.
rain for 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
That's a sitting disaster right there.
Yeah. That's
Super
really
dry
sad.
out there.
You brought up Maui and Hawaii. There's been a lot of comparisons of this wildfire and the way it's been spreading and popping up and how it started. It's just amazing, and I hope it's not true, and I hope there's no connection whatsoever, because it's just horrible to think that this would be done on purpose like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there, if you look back, there was talks about Smart LA. So you can look that up online way before these wildfires. About they were possibly thinking about 15-minute, not necessarily cities, but sections around LA, all those nice communities. So I don't know, but I hate to think that, but it's always in the back of your head.
It is. It's really sad. And here's another thing too, is that a lot of people are being displaced right now. The power grid. I don't know if it's like the full power grid, but in places like where Bigfoot Dwarf lives and stays, the power went down. Okay. And Heidi too. A lot of power grids going down, and okay, people are, I don't know if they're running out of food. I mean, I don't want to cause panic. We don't like to live in fear and stuff.
Right.
But I'm always stressing that it's so important that we watch your back, keep your head on a swivel, stay safe, prepare. Okay, always prepare. And now is the time more than ever to make sure that you have the necessities that you need. I kind of joked around about how I have toilet paper and milk and bread for the next couple of days. But it's no joke. Everybody, we need to have food, generators if you can afford to get a generator, propane, kerosene heaters, and things like that. A water source. You got to think about these things way before it happens. Because if it happens and you're not prepared, then it's too late. And they say that within 30 days of a power outage, I think it's like 97% of people could die if they're not prepared. Okay, if you're in a big city, so y'all gotta prepare. Okay, yeah, and I feel bad for the people that have like electric cars and stuff too. Like I've heard that it's really hard for people to find a place to power up their cars and their vehicles to get out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah. Anyways, okay, let's not dwell on all the negativity of it. Okay, even though it's scary, very scary.
I see Robin M's in your chat too. Hi, Robin. We're praying for you.
Oh, good. Robin's here too. Okay, good. We're so glad to see you guys. The chat's moving really fast tonight. So thank you, Robin, for being here and checking in with us. Okay. Well, okay. Bigfoot Dwarf, I sent you a message earlier and I asked, it was on Instagram. I sent you a message asking if it was okay if I showed your video short on YouTube. So I hope it's okay. I wanted to show, because people may not be familiar with this video, and I thought, well, Brown Dwarf's out there. I've been keeping up with him, and if it's okay, I'm going to share my screen and we'll show that little. Okay, he says, of course. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so we'll show the video. This was actually this is the video of. Let me get it up here of the UFO. Okay. Let's see here. Share my screen. It may take just a minute because it's really slow for some reason. Let's see. I think it's this one. Share. Uh-oh. Let me get maybe the wrong one here. Okay, it's going to show this one. Let me go here. Brown, not brown. Yeah, you're Bigfoot Dwarf. Hold on. I'm sorry. I pulled up the wrong one. Bigfoot Dwarf. All right, we're going to find his channel here. Here we go. Thank you, Bigfoot Dwarf, for letting us show your short here. And so this is the video. It's going to be hard for people to see especially if on your phone. So you guys, please go to Bigfoot Dwarf on YouTube and check out his video here. Okay, this is the short. And there's other videos of this. Okay, there's other videos of this all over the internet, but I thought it'd be cool to show Brown Dwarf's video here. But
Wow.
as you can see, it looks like a UFO shooting across the sky.
Wow.
So it's kind of the buzz on the internet right now. Something flew across the sky right there. And we know that Brown Dwarf, aka Bigfoot Dwarf, always has his eyes to the sky and has been filming for months. For months and months, been filming like orbs all over the city in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we've been talking about. This is just a loop right here of that. So,
and this was at the beginning of the fires, correct?
Yes, I guess so. This is the Eaton. Okay, this is the Eaton fire right here. And I believe this was filmed yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before.
That's when I saw it, was just yesterday.
Yeah, it was. I just saw it for the first time yesterday too. So I'm assuming it was from yesterday. I'm assuming. So that's it. And oh my goodness, Larry Sharp, thank you for being a member of the Hunt Club for 9 months. I just saw that too. Larry's a big supporter of the channel, so thank you, Larry. I appreciate you. Okay, well let's get to this target then. Okay, because so this was cast as a target for me to find out, we had inquiring minds wanting to know what the heck this thing was. And I got to tell you guys, the data for this was so all over the place. It's kind of weird, right? And I don't know. I mean, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. And all the data is on my Patreon if you guys are interested in seeing this actual data. And I'm going to go through most of this for you guys. Okay, so some of my sensory data. Okay, so I was given some coordinates. It was actual coordinates. I think that coordinates were actually the coordinates of where the Eaton fire is. Okay, at that moment or whenever that happened. Okay, so here's some of my sensory data. Measured, speedy, fast shooting, projection, high heated, watching, observing, and metallic.
Wow.
Watching, okay, so, observing.
Yes, that was my sensory data. Okay, my analytic overlay, where I'm trying to make sense of what I'm looking at here. Okay, so here's some of the stuff that I wrote down from that sensory data. I picked up on, I wrote million, I wrote millimeter, okay, I wrote diameter and width, shooting star. Okay, so I thought I was seeing a shooting star.
Right.
When I first got in, I said shooting star, projectile. I wrote Amazon and drone. Okay, so I was obviously seeing something flying through the sky. I wrote Amazon, drone, zone, and then I started getting into some interesting data because I wrote bullet fired, missile.
Oh, missile.
So I got like weaponry data, kind of. So bullet fired. This is for entertainment purposes only, y'all. Okay. Missile slope. I wrote the watchers is in my data. I also wrote eclipse, clips, and full clip. So I was still like getting weaponry data.
Right.
And I wrote down metal and rounds. Okay, metal and rounds. That's some more stuff. And I drew kind of like a circular drawing and like a little sketch, nothing big there. Okay. My stage 4 data, I wrote down smacked and smashed. Something took a direct hit. Okay, I wrote direct hit, launched. That was part of my sensory data. My analytic overlay was fuel to the fire. Fuel to the fire is what I heard. I heard that.
Wow.
And then I was getting a lot of chaotic data, like chaos, messy, confusion, chaotic, chaos. And then I actually wrote down a confusion spell.
Wow.
And I started getting into magic data. Okay, I know this sounds crazy, but I wrote down magic, dark magic, curse. I actually was like getting in something like dark and black. I wrote, it was like black magic kind of is what I was writing down. And I heard something about backing up. And I wrote, I had a little sketch where I was going backwards into something. And then I wrote down dead zone. That was the last part of my data was like dead zone. And then I ended it.
Wow.
Yeah. So really odd, right? Because this data was like, very well could have been like, it's definitely some kind of UFO. It's unidentified. We don't know what this is. But I find it really interesting that I was getting so much weapon data, like weaponry, like missiles, bullets, launched, fired, smack, smash, launched, direct hit, fuel to the fire. That was my data. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, we can all come to our own conclusions on that, I guess. But I mean, what do y'all think? Do you think this was like more like a UFO, like extraterrestrial, or do you think it could have been man-made? I mean, what do y'all think?
Well, when I first saw it, obviously the title, I didn't see brown dwarfs. I saw it from somebody else that had it online. And obviously the title was UFO during California Eaton wildfires. So I guess my mind was already set on UFO when I watched it. So that's what I thought. But then the more I think about it, and especially with your data, I'm wondering, okay, could it be a drone? Could it be a meteor shooting through? Just happens to be at the same time the clouds and the smoke happening at the wildfire, that a meteor just happened to shoot through our atmosphere? I don't know. I mean, there's lots of things it could be.
Yeah. Drone is in my data too. Drone is in there. But bullet fired. I just find that really interesting. You know, I wrote projectile. Of course, I also wrote down shooting star. So, but see, the analytic overlay is how I'm interpreting what I'm seeing. Okay, so it doesn't mean that's what it is. It just means that's how I'm interpreting what I'm seeing.
Right.
And so, I also wrote Amazon down there too. So like an Amazon drone or something. But I definitely find it really interesting that I did pick up on a lot of that, like missiles and bullets and.
But that Amazon is the Amazon forest or Amazon store.
Yeah.
Could relate in the Amazon forest.
Yes. Moondog Davis has a good point too, is I saw a lot of videos of people throwing gas cans out of the back of their vehicles and adding fuel to the fire too, right? Fuel to the fire was in my data. So Yeah, there's a whole lot of high strangeness going on out there in California. But I think it's important, you guys, I've got the data, it's just data. Okay, it's just data. And so everybody you can draw your own conclusions from, what you think that thing was, and then hearing what the data was. Okay, for this coordinate remote viewing target of that UFO. Okay, because like I always say, it's just data, but I find it really odd and interesting that a lot of people are putting it out there that they think that this was the fires. A lot of them could have been started by energy weapons, potentially for entertainment purposes only. Like energy weapons and stuff.
Is there any signs of blue houses and stuff that's similar to the Hawaii?
I think it's time for us.
Houses that are just left standing, and I don't know if they got blue houses, but they're not touched, but everything around them is just absolutely totally gone. And once again, so many trees never got touched, but the houses are leveled. So I was kind of wondering if the blue was related to any of these.
Yeah. I think it's not a bad idea to paint your roof blue at this point. I'm just saying. I mean,
why not? What could it hurt?
It may stick out like a sore thumb, but at least it'll still be standing one day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it's really, really wild. Really wild. Who'd ever
thought up metal and shot and like artillery? And I remember that they used to seed clouds with rockets at one point in time, and I don't know if they still do or not, but they also send up the rockets to introduce chemicals into the air. So could it be chemicals to help stop the fire, or could it be chemicals to help spread the fire? So it's always in the back of my mind. It could go either way with me.
Yeah, right. Me too. I'm the same. Bigfoot Dwarf says Eaton Canyon is part of the Angeles National Forest. NASA, JPL, not far at all.
Oh,
ooh, interesting. Man, there's so many things I could say right now about all this.
Same here.
So many things. I know. I can hear you thinking, Jane. I know what you're doing. I know what you're thinking. Because there's a lot of things going on. The world is being kind of turned upside down right now when it comes to Hollywood, and there's about to be let's just say like a regime change with the leadership of our country here and stuff. And so a lot of people are thinking, with all the latest Hollywood gossip and everything, with the P. Diddy stuff going on. Okay.
Right.
P. Diddy.
P. Whatever his name is. Yeah. This could have some connections. Some people are saying that tunneling systems, things like that. I mean, it could have something to do with that.
Makes you wonder.
Who knows, really? But I think before the show, we were talking about reptilians and stuff, and like how, during these, maybe it's after we started the show, I can't remember. It's like during natural disasters, that's when these reptilians are being seen and stuff, and different cryptids. I mentioned to you guys before we did start the show about the Mount St. Helens incident when that erupted. The fire happened, and there were reports of Bigfoots being injured there, and Bigfoot's running out of the place carrying forest animals and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, there's always stories of them coming out, after disasters and stuff, and especially fires like this, because most people were evacuated and there's only like emergency crews there fighting fires, and they're running around with their heads cut off like chickens. So they might not necessarily notice these beings or entities walking in and around, and especially if they're coming through tunnels and popping up in the middle of neighborhoods or other people's houses. And so, I mean, are they coming out because this is their chance to come above ground? And the clouds are covering, the smoke is covering the sun, so it's not real bright on them.
Yeah. Absolutely. It could be. I mean, it's a dangerous time all around. Okay. For humans and cryptids alike, for everybody. And Cat Chaser, thank you so much for that super sticker. And that's a wonderful point. Please do not forget the victims of Asheville, North Carolina. 100%. Yeah. Our hearts go out to them. I mean, that area is still completely devastated out there in North Carolina from the hurricane, from all the flooding, which which would, there are a lot of anomalies in that too, with that natural disaster, you know. It's really sad.
And I don't want to get too controversial, but what if the reptilians were coming out and taking people into the tunnels? Because what better way than during a wildfire or disaster when people are going to come up missing and unaccounted for? So, and there's always people that they can't find. And then the other thought that came into my mind is kind of opposite of that. What if they are bringing up people or specimens from the tunnels that they no longer need and want to dispose of, and they're putting them in the rumble of the fire?
Yeah, you know, this is a tough subject to talk about. It really is, and but it's behind the scenes. There are, some of us are talking about this kind of stuff, trying to piece together what could be happening. You know, I did have Nick Sylvester on the show a while back, right after the Asheville floodings happened, the North Carolina floods happened, and he had mentioned something about some of the tunnel systems and stuff being flooded out, and some of the bodies, actually, there were so many bodies that were found, and some of them were not from that area. That some of them actually, according to him, were coming from some of these tunnels and stuff. So I don't know. There's a lot more to look into. It probably goes a little deeper than what we see in the news, you know.
Right.
And I actually found out that there's a lot of tunnels in Tennessee. Well, I know there's a lot of tunnels in Tennessee. I know there's a lot of caves in Tennessee. I've explored at least one of them. Okay, and that was a little creepy, going in those tunnels, the caves there, actually. But I started getting people sending me stuff like tunnels under Dollywood and stuff, you know. Yeah, no, it's
I would assume it's safe to say that there's probably tunnels in every state and every community, at least where the big cities are and the populations are. I would assume there's probably tunnels in and out of every city in the U.S.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. There's tunnels everywhere. There's a whole world underneath our feet right now, a whole other world. So it's kind of coming to the surface, though, so to speak, I guess, at this point. So like I said, keep your head on a swivel, y'all. And
well, I keep thinking when things like this happen, they want our attention there. What are we not seeing because our attention is on this?
Yes. Well, that's a good point too, Jane. Yeah, there's always, it's like something. I mean, there's always something to distract us from something else that's going on. But this is pretty big, though. You know, it's pretty big. So, but yeah, if that UFO is an actual extraterrestrial type of a UFO, you know, it said the washers. Okay, maybe, you know, a lot of UFOs have been sighted over like nuclear weaponry sites, nuclear power plants and weaponry sites. Barry Littleton gave me that is a remote viewing target, a couple of targets a while back. And we found that, yeah, those are like extraterrestrial spacecrafts shutting down, let's just say, like nuclear warhead launches and stuff. I mean, maybe it's for the betterment, you know, because us humans don't know how to behave. You know what I mean? Not all of us, but.
Yeah, I mean, it could be here to observe, like you said, the watchers. It could be here to check out a big one. I mean, this is like a century historic happening. You know, it's a sad one and devastating, but to them, it could be something interesting to study or watch. So it could be a drone coming from a UFO or a mothership to come down and watch. And if you see the full video, there's actually a plane that's assisting with the water drops that goes by first, and then that comes out of the smoke or clouds right after it goes by. So maybe it's moving to a new location because they're getting close to where it was hanging out.
Yeah, it could be. Wow. Yeah, there's a longer video of this, you guys. So y'all just go look it up on YouTube or TikTok, our trusted news source. Y'all go check it out there. And some of the people in the chat were saying, you know, mainstream media is not going to talk about this stuff.
No,
that's right.
For sure. Yeah. And Kent Baxter, thank you so much. You are such a wonderful supporter of my channel. I appreciate you. Says, can't wait until all the truth has been revealed. Until then, we have the cryptid Huntress. Thank you. Hey, we're digging into the the hard news over here, the hard stories. So thank you. I appreciate that big time. That's very kind of you. And yeah, I think we all just want to know. We all just want to know what's going on. We've been in the dark for way too long. So
Yep, absolutely.
yeah. So hopefully this helps, or it just makes things more complicated. I don't know.
Right.
With this remote viewing data and stuff.
And
But
the other thing is, where if it is a UFO or extraterrestrial ship, where was it going? Because it looked like it was on a downward projection. So was it going to crash? Did heat and flames affect it somehow, or did something happen to it?
it did. That's right. Yeah, because we didn't see any kind of like crash or anything. I mean, only saw that little short video of it. So yeah, we don't know. We don't. So Adolf says there will be a spotter plane to send information to the water tanker plane. So yeah, there's no telling what else going on. I mean, down on the ground they don't have a lot of water. I know that much.
Right.
Like it seems as though they had cut off the water supply, or they had rerouted the water because
the pressure was gone too. There's no pressure.
Man, that's just bad planning right there.
But if that was a second plane, that was going fast.
The spotter plane is a smaller airplane, and it flies over close to the zone where they can get closer and see where the line of the fire is and how it's progressing. So they let out a smoke trail, and then the bigger water tanker comes in behind it and follows that smoke trail that plane left, so it knows where the edge of the fire is to put down the chemical retardant if they want to stop it from progressing to another area, or even the water planes where they know where, okay, I need to move over just a little bit and douse directly on the fire.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad they've got an air assault going on with the water, because watching those poor firemen taking women's handbags and filling them full of water and dousing them on the flames was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, this could be coming to a town near you guys. Okay. And so hopefully not. Hopefully not. I
just keep thinking, what next?
Yeah, what next? I know. We got to keep up to the positive outlook, but yeah. It's like, how could it get any worse? Oh, wait, there's more. You know what I mean? Yeah, Robin says streak looked like a missile on a mission. No water by design. Yeah, it did. It did look like a missile, though, didn't it? It did. I'm not saying it was. It was in my data, but I don't. Surely not. Wasn't like that. That was my analytic overlay, but it did look like that.
I'm trying to remember in my mind. Was there a trail or anything coming from behind it?
Yeah,
there was. It was like a tracer. I think it's what you call it.
That's what I noticed, was the big trail behind it.
Yeah, there was but that could have also been from the smoke as well. It was kind of cutting through all the smoke, and I'm sure the water. I mean, not the water, but the air quality has to be horrible right now with all the soot and the ash and everything too going on out there. So yeah, it does feel like a controlled burn. Okay, well, my heart and my prayers go out to everybody in California right now that's affected by this, and everybody all over the country that's dealing with disasters right now and catastrophes and stuff. Hopefully things will be getting better soon, I hope. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just really sad and really terrible. And maybe ETs are going to be helping us. Okay, maybe they are here to help and stuff. And like I said, I have remote viewed those UFOs that were over the nuclear sites and stuff like that, disarming nuclear missiles and things. So hopefully we won't completely destroy ourselves out here. So
yeah, it'd be like the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, I feel like my life is the Planet of the Apes sometimes, out in those woods and stuff. And speaking of which, I guess we'll move on, okay? Because this is I know that's a tough subject, talking about what else going on out in California right now. And like I said, our hearts are with everybody out there. And Yeah, but
And we said it before, you know, our hearts still go out for North Carolina and everybody that was
Right.
affected by that event out there. And there's still a lot of people out there struggling. And we, just like you said, we got the cold weather and
The ice.
coming your guys' way. So that's going to
Yeah.
be horrible for them also.
There's going to be more power outages, and yeah.
oh yeah, yes, I'm. We're mostly prepared over here for power outages and stuff right now. But man,
Yeah.
it's you know, like I said, if the power grids go down, okay, we can be as prepared as we could ever be. But you know, you got to think about the neighbors and people, especially if you live in cities and stuff. People will, you know, there's other stuff you got to worry about with people that get desperate. You know, people get desperate and they don't have the things that you have. And so they may try to come and take what you have and stuff. So,
Right.
yeah, it's, these are the things we got to think about, y'all.
Right.
Things we got to think about. Yeah. Prepare. Okay. It's like the perfect storm right now. Perfect storm.
Yeah.
So it is. But let's move out to the woods of Alabama next. Okay.
All
Let's go to the woods of Alabama because, you know, you got to wonder, like, some people wonder, like, well, where will we go if, what do you call it? SHTF, right? That's the acronym. I'm not going to say what it means because there's a cuss word in there. But if crap hits the fan, okay, if stuff hits the fan, you know, where do we go? What do? You know, you load up your truck, you take off to the woods. I mean, they shut down the forest roads and stuff. They lock the gates.
Right.
It's hard to get out to like national parks to go, you know, get out of town because they close the roads down and stuff. They won't even let you in.
Let alone the traffic jam and getting out.
Yeah. So I was actually looking. I was looking at the national forest updates out in Alabama, and I have talked to my team, and we've all agreed to kind of keep this location private for now, okay? Because it's one of our active research areas. But I can say that it is in northern Alabama, and it's in a national forest, okay? And so, not to give the coordinates away and all that kind of stuff. We went out there to go investigate a Dogman encounter that one of the guys and his dad and his nephew had at a national forest in Alabama, where I actually know people who have had almost the exact same encounter, where they had like an aggressive, what they thought were dogmen. I think it turned out to be Bigfoot. Okay, I think there were aggressive Bigfoots, but there's also Dogman encounters out there. But they were terrified one night. They got surrounded out in the middle. They'd hiked in about 5 miles or more into this forest, surrounded by what they thought were dogmen. They stayed up all night, back to back, holding their weapons, their handguns. They had handguns, I think, for protection, all night until the sun came up. And they didn't know if they were going to make it out alive. Okay.
Wow.
Being surrounded by something that wasn't human, that was running around on 2 feet. So of course, what did we do? We got the team out, and 5 of us went out there, and we spent a good bit of time out there, and I became a Dogman burrito potentially with my hammock set up, and we hiked in several miles. But before we got out there, we all met up at a certain location where we left our vehicles, and we were unpacking our gear. And as we were getting ready to hike in, it was the middle of June. It was in July, middle of the summer. As we were getting ready to hike into the woods, as if we weren't already pumped up, and I was a little nervous, a little bit. I get a little nervous, you know, going in, hiking in to go hunt dogmen. Okay, like go investigate dogmen and stuff. This man came walking out of the woods, and he was actually carrying a big rock. And I have pictures of it. I'll show the audience tonight because I call this the Alabama Dragon. Okay, the Alabama Dragon. First of all, I'll show a map of Alabama. We have people from all over the world that are watching the show. We even have werewolves watching my show, y'all. Okay, just so you know.
Oh my!
I did get an email. I have not responded to that email yet, but I'll respond to you if you're watching tonight. But someone did contact me on Monday, letting me know that people who transform into werewolves probably are watching my show. Okay. And so shout out to all the werewolves out there, y'all. What's up? Okay. So this is a map of Alabama. It's in the southeastern United States, and I live in Georgia, which is to the right of the state. Okay, right on the Alabama line, and so we were up in northern Alabama, at this park. Okay, and here's a map of the national parks out there. Just putting that out there for you guys to see. And here's another topography map of Alabama. They do have lots of beautiful mountains in Alabama. Absolutely beautiful. Over in that red area, that's kind of like the Cheaha area. Okay, Talladega National Forest is over there. We've got up in the more to the middle of the states, like Bankhead Forest. We've got it's ripe with cryptid activity, y'all. All this area is all full of Bigfoots, Dogman sightings, and potentially a dragon. Okay, potentially a dragon. Now, if you guys will remember, when I did a show on the moon-eyed people,
right?
Okay, that is a Cherokee legend. When I was doing my research on the moon-eyed people, I found out that there was a Welsh explorer who came through and allegedly, I guess he discovered North America. He discovered it, right, before Columbus, because this was back in like the 1300s, I think. And his path was through the Gulf of Mexico, or AKA the Gulf of America, soon. Okay. But he landed right there in southern Alabama. What is Alabama today? And he was a Welsh prince, I believe, or a Welsh explorer. He went up through the Gulf of Mexico and Alabama, and he went north. And you know what his crest was on his, the emblem was on his crest was a dragon.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Which I find I find that exciting.
Yeah.
And wild. Because when we were going on this expedition, okay, to go on this Dogman hunt or investigation, as we were walking into to the woods, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, oh man, hold on, I'm looking. I don't think that I uploaded. Hold on, I'm gonna have to try to upload this real quick. We ran into a man who came walking out of the woods, and he was holding a, dang it, y'all. He was holding a stone, and I did not upload it, so I may have a hard time finding it. Anyways, it was a stone. I'm going to show you the whole big picture, okay? I'm so sorry. I had everything ready to go, and then I did not upload that picture. But he was holding just a rock, okay? Just a rock. And he was holding a rock, and he said, and I heard him talking to the guys. He said, hey, are you guys familiar with dragons? And the guys were like, and I heard the guys like kind of, we know about dragons. They didn't really pay any attention to them. And I said, hey, I know about dragons. And the gentleman came over to me, and he had this big rock, and he said, well, this is a piece of a dragon's wing. And I said, okay, well, that's crazy. Like, he said, have you heard about a Mud Fossil University on YouTube? And I was like, of course. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we had told him what we were there for or anything. He just thought we were going to be hiking into the woods. And he didn't know that we were a bunch of weirdos looking for a cryptid out in the woods. But he said, I think I've been coming here for a long time, and I have been I've been cleaning off a dragon. There's a petrified dragon on this trail, and he told us where it was. He said, if you just hike down here, you're going to walk over its wing. And he showed me the rock, and he said, this is part of the wing. He said, I'm taking this. He's like, I'd like to get this analyzed. But he had a brush in his hand where he had been brushing off the rock. And he said, my wife hikes out here, and while she's hiking, I clean off the dragon. Huh. And he was very sure of himself. He's like, this is a dragon. He's like, I've plotted it all out. He's like, this is 100% one of these petrified dragons. Wow. And so I was perplexed. I was excited. We were looking forward to getting out to the woods to go, set up camp before it got too late. But before, on the way back, it was actually, we saw it going in. It looked as though it was it made up the entire hill. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures, and it's so hard to see it in these pictures. So I apologize. It just looks like the woods, but you can kind of get the gist. So this is us walking back. I didn't take pictures until we were walking back when we were leaving. Okay. So this is actually going down the trail. This is the trail that we were walking on after we had hiked back several miles. okay, from our expedition that we were on. I pulled out my phone. I actually had some battery on it, and I was able to take some pictures. Now, this picture right here is actually us walking up on it, and straight ahead will be the wing. Okay, so the body is up. The dragon makes up this entire hill.
Okay.
Okay, and it's hard to tell. This is okay. It's in the middle of the summertime. Up on top of that hill is the backbone and the spine of this dragon.
Wow.
And you can't. It's hard to see it. Okay, these are up. There's a couple. That's Braxton and Drewski. That's us walking back from our expedition there underneath a what do you call it? One of those, like a tree that's been pulled over. A tree bin. I can't think. Tree bin. Yes. But anyways, this, okay, I hate showing these pictures. It kind of sucks. It doesn't do it justice at all. But this is actually pictures. If you look up on that hill, that is the actual dragon's body. That's where the head would be. And that's part of its body. It's just like a big rock, but it was in the shape of like a big lizard or a dinosaur. But what made it not look so much like a dinosaur so much was this wing. This was the actual wing. So the body was up that made up the entire hill. And then this part right here was part of the wing. That's where he got the big chunk of the rock from, was this, which draped over, and the trail goes right through where the wing is. Oh. So the man plotted it out. He showed us all of it. This is a picture of the wing right here too, looking down at it. And yeah, here's some more. This is another picture of the side of its body. This would be like its neck right there, part of its neck, where its neck would go. So it was too big to actually get in like one picture. So I was just taking pictures of it in increments kind of, but it was all from kind of sitting down, standing on the ground, looking up at it, and then stepping over where the wing was. So that kind of shows you like how big this thing was. Okay. And if you're familiar with like Mud Fossil University on YouTube, and if you look at the Petrified Giants, okay, I know we've talked about Petrified Giants before on my channel plenty of times. That's just some more of the trail right there. We've talked about these petrified dragons and petrified giants, and you can find pictures of things.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. That one's crazy.
You can see them, and see the one that we're talking about tonight is kind of hidden. It was covered in foliage. It was covered in leaves. If you didn't have a really good eye for it, you wouldn't even have seen it there, right? But this man had it. What are the odds of us like meeting some man that had been cleaning off a dragon? You know what I mean? Like, it was so weird that happened.
And the other thing, it just happened to come to me. What if in a past life, he was the one that trained dragons and was a caretaker for dragons? And in this life, he just happens to find this dragon and he's brushing it off and taking care of it even in this life.
Wow.
It could be. He's like the caretaker of the dragon.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind. Okay. And to say it hyped me up a little bit. I was super hyped up for that whole trip. Then it kind of did calm my nerves a little bit, because I was like, all right, this place is already blowing my mind. Okay. It's already blowing my mind. I know there's Bigfoots out here. I know there's Dogman out here. And now we have a dragon. Okay. We have a dragon. And the guys were into it. They were a little perplexed by the whole dragon stuff. But when we were walking back out of the woods after we had done our time out in the field, you could clearly see the tail of the dragon. Clearly, when we walked up on it, there was no denying that looked like a dragon's tail.
Wow. And
the way that it curved around and everything, it was 100%. I believe it could have been a dragon. I thought at the time, and not too long ago, about a year ago, I believe, this dragon, they say this was a dragon that was unearthed out of China, I think. And they said this was like 250 million years old or something.
Oh, wow.
They claim these are dragon bones right here.
Wow.
Yeah, I think one of the last shows we did with you was on dragons being spotted and flying around still.
It was. We have definitely talked about dragons before. Mm-hmm. That's part of the reason I was like, man, y'all, I got to see if Gerald and Jane want to come on tonight, because we're going to talk about dragons and UFOs. Perfect topics to bring you guys on for. But with these mud fossils, these petrified giants, they do look awfully real. If you ask me with some of these pictures that I found online, they do. Now, the one that we encountered was, like I said, it was covered in foliage. Okay, covered in leaves and trees. I would have never seen this or noticed it had that man not pointed it out to us. And so I think that's probably the case for a lot. If there are petrified animals, giants, they just look like they're part of the landscape.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to use movies as soft disclosure, look at Dragonheart. Look at Lord of the Rings, where the dragons disguise themselves with soil and stuff. They kind of bury themselves when they go to sleep, whether it's for centuries or however long. And then, so say this one perished or is hibernating or whatever the case may be, they might be already covered with soil that they put on themselves. Or maybe they got injured and flew down and got buried when they crashed and their wings spread out, and that's why you saw it go across your trail.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, when I've looked at all the petrified giants, okay, and I've done a little bit of studying of these things, giant humans, for instance, it just seems as though a lot of them look like they are looking out. Okay, I know this sounds really weird. Okay, it sounds kind of weird, but the ones that I've seen, a lot of them, like on the sides of mountains, it looks as though they were all looking in, like looking out, like they were awake whenever they petrified or whatever. It makes you kind of wonder, because I start putting these dots together where I did a remote viewing target of the UFO that crashed in the Ukraine. It was 23 Russian soldiers were turned to stone. Okay, they shot down a UFO with a missile, and there were 25 soldiers, 23 of them all turned to limestone. When the UFO crashed, 5 ETs exited the crashed craft. They formed into an orb. This is all in declassified KGB documents, or a document, aka also a CIA document. And it says that they formed into an orb and an energy blast went out.
Oh, wow.
And 2 soldiers were able to duck and cover, and then the rest of them didn't. And the 23 of them turned to limestone when their bodies were there. It was like Medusa or something. Yeah. Yes. So, so that connects.
That reminds me of Lot's wife.
Yeah, Ruth, right? She turned to salt.
Salt, yeah. Which would make sense if your body's made out of water and minerals, that you would probably turn into a type of salt if some kind of energy weapon or force went against you like that.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like, don't look back or you're going to turn to salt. Like, don't look back, don't look, or you're going to turn to salt. Those soldiers were, that from eyewitness accounts in this document, it said that I guess that whenever the ETs, they didn't take cover, they didn't duck, they didn't have time, I guess. And when the blast went out, they all turned to limestone. Okay. So, and it 100% just reminded me of Medusa, the story of Medusa. And I think the man that actually ended up beheading her was able to not gaze at her directly. He looked at her through his shield, right? Wasn't it like his shield that he used as a mirror or something?
Right.
So, at least in the movie that I watched. So, I can remember that. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm trying to find that y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find that picture. I think that what happened was that it didn't upload because my StreamYard does not support the file that it is. So I'm sorry. I'll put those pictures up on social media after the show tonight, or on YouTube. I'll be sure to upload that picture of the man holding the rock, because I think that was my most important picture I wanted to show tonight. So I apologize, y'all, that didn't upload. But yeah, Perseus. That's right. Clash of the Titans. Thank you, Kent. Yes, right. Perseus beheaded Medusa. Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you, Alicia Fox.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Very sweet. I appreciate your support. But okay, so was this a real dragon, y'all? Was it a real dragon?
I think so.
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let's find out. Because this was put into the pool of targets. Okay, and so this was given to me as just a set of numbers, and 34148720. That's what I got. Okay, and this was the Alabama dragon at a national forest in Alabama undisclosed location. Unfortunately, I can't give the location away, y'all. But it was in northern Alabama. And it's a big old forest, too. I mean, hundreds of thousands of acres out there. And even if I told you where it was, you'd probably have a hard time finding it. I'm just saying. But it's there. Okay, so this is there. And it happened. And the only reason I can't disclose it is because we're still doing research out there. Okay, we're still doing research. Okay, so some of my sensory data for this. My sensory data. Okay, here we go. Hot, dry, solid, curvy, waves, wavy, high, strange, circular, and sacred. Sacred is so important with this data. Okay? Sacred. Okay, so some of my analytic overlay for the Alabama dragon, y'all. Okay, so I wrote down soil, debate. Okay, it's kind of random. Okay, these words are kind of random. Soil, debate, ground swell, monumental, serpent, and I literally wrote serpent mound. Mound.
Wow.
Ridge and ridges, ruffles, ridge and ruffles. I was picking up on something a little like topography. That's why I showed that topographical map earlier. Sticks out like a sore thumb is what I wrote down. But I was getting data that included indigenous, calendar, and I actually wrote down Stonehenge. Okay, I wrote down Stonehenge, and I wrote down curses. Okay, curses, which is wild. Okay, and I wrote some interesting little squiggly lines for my sketch for that. For my stage 4 data, I was definitely picking up on animals. Okay, so I picked up on some kind of animal. I wrote down cryptids and Bigfoot actually in my data. Thunderbird was actually in my data as well, by the way. Okay, so Thunderbird. So I have cryptids, Bigfoot, Thunderbird. But in my sensory data, I was picking up on something that was bipedal and hairy. So I was definitely picking up on some kind of Bigfoot activity going on. I wrote down creatures, guards, and guardians.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's super interesting for this data. I also I kept sketching like a triangle, and I wrote like triangulation, sacred geometry. I was definitely felt like I was writing out a map of some sort. Like I kept picking up on like map data. I was definitely in the forest, definitely surrounded by woods, trees, and grass. I wrote that. I actually wrote down portal. Here, wrote down portal.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and so I started getting a lot of data on hidden history. Okay, something that was hidden history, secrets, native people. I was picking up on like woodland animals. I wrote down gnomes. Like this whole target. Like I was picking up on so many different cryptids and like strange beings. Let's just say like Bigfoot, Thunderbirds, gnomes. Weird. I was like, okay, weird stuff.
Well, you said it was a sacred area.
Sacred, that's right. Definitely sacred. I find it interesting that I was picking up on like a serpent mound too, though. Like serpent mound. I believe that's out of Ohio.
Right.
That.
But if there's a mountain, the mountain range that comes through Alabama and that whole section of the United States, I mean that could be a burial mound. We don't know how many dragons or giants are actually in these hills and cliffs.
Right.
Yes, that's right. Looks like those fossilized giant armadillos. There's fossilized giant everything, petrified. Just about any kind of animal you could think of is like petrified. There's like a giant petrified version of it somewhere online, at least online. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Thunderbird is really interesting. Okay, so I also was picking up on something like, I wrote down like. I was definitely in the investigative mode during this target. I was searching was part of my data, investigating was part of my sensory data. But I actually wrote down, okay, so this is the end of my data. I was like direct hit, bingo, target, coordinates, dead on. Something dead, maybe too. So, but that was the end of the target. So when it comes down to this target, okay, I don't know if this is a real dragon or not, y'all, because I was picking up on like serpent mound. I did pick up on something dead. Okay, at the very end, but it depends on how you interpret this data. Okay,
Right.
The fact that I was getting like what did I write down? Monument and monumental, and I wrote down serpent mound. I'm not positive that this would be a petrified dragon, but I do think it's definitely something. It could be a monument. Okay, it could have been something that was the indigenous people thought of as sacred there. Okay, maybe it could be a dragon, but if I'm picking up on like a serpent mound or something like that, maybe it could be some kind of a mound or something. Okay, maybe it's a mound that looks like a dragon. Maybe, or maybe it is a dragon. I don't know.
Well, we were talking, we don't know how long, say if it was a real dragon and it did go there to hibernate or go to sleep or just pass away and got covered up with dirt. We don't know how long it's been there. So maybe it was already there in almost in petrified shape when the Native Americans found it, and they thought it was a mound or looked like a dragon.
That's right. Well, if this set of bones goes back 240 million years ago, I mean, that's a long time, right? That's a long time.
Yeah.
But I mentioned dinosaurs too, and it often comes up when we're talking about dinosaurs. Well, that word dinosaur wasn't even invented until the 1800s, right?
Yep.
And some people think that dinosaurs were actually dragons.
And it always it depends on what century and what civilization you're talking to, because they have certain words and they don't have certain words. Just like you said, dinosaur was invented later. So maybe they are describing a dragon, or maybe they're describing a dinosaur, and it's just how we interpret it or what we think it is.
Yes, it could be. Yes, Firewater by Design. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate that. She says, please hit the like button. There are 242 people in the chat. How many likes can we give Jessica's show tonight?
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. That's
Wow.
we have a good crowd tonight, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Well, thanks everybody for coming.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Hit that like button.
Hit that like button. Y'all subscribe and share the video out. I love it. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much though. But yeah, we just don't know. Like I just feel like I wrote hidden history down in this data. Okay. And not everything is what we've been taught. Okay. Timelines are not exactly what we've been taught. And we don't really know how old dinosaurs are. I mean, their bones can be dated. I don't know. Science does play a factor in this. It does. But at the same time, yeah.
You mentioned portal too, right?
I did. Yeah.
So we don't know if it came out of a portal or that was the area where the portal is, and maybe it was protecting a portal. But what if it was on the other side and it was being chased or hunted? Because we did the last show we did on dragons. We talked about in the olden days and the knights, and that they were fighting dragons, and they had dragons in all their art and literature. So what if that dragon was endangered and came through the portal, and then that's where it ended up?
That's right. Yeah. There's no telling. Listen, this world is so crazy, Carol. I have no idea. It could have 100%. It couldn't be more crazy. That's right. I did find the dragon wing picture, so I'm about to try to pull it up again.
All right.
I did. So yes, I think you guys are going to get to see the dragon wing picture. It's uploading right now. Okay, let me take this comment down so we can get a full view of this. Okay, I want everybody to see. This is part of the wing.
Yeah.
This is what the guy was carrying out, and you see that he has a brush in his hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
He meant business. He meant business. He meant business, cleaning that off, and I think he was tickled just to have somebody to talk to about it when he had it.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, okay, I actually have a couple of pictures here, so let me see if I can pull the other one up, because I want you to see the thickness of it too. So it was about, I'm going to say about 1.5 inches, 2 inches maybe in thickness when he turned it over to the side where you could see it.
So it's like a flake came off of it, right?
Yes, it looked like
yeah, like a scale. Yes.
It looked like scales. It did. It looks like a scale. That was the thickness. Now I have another picture where I put my finger up to it, but it's really blurry. So I'm not going to upload that. But you can kind of tell by just, with him in the background. It's about 2 inches thick or so. I mean, but it was a big old dragon. If that was a real dragon. Its body made up the entire top of that hill.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know
Well,
if he said,
there's a
he
lot
wanted
of
that.
archaeologists and rock hounds out there that they talk about where they find sections of the earth, or just like this that you're talking about, that it looks like scales when they uncover these formations. And then even the geologists, they find when they uncover it, it looks like a giant eye with an iris and everything. So they speculate that possibly, I think they call them dragon eyes, actually.
That's fantastic. And it's pretty amazing. I mean, for this gentleman to come out of the woods saying that he comes out there all the time and cleans that off, I mean,
That's amazing.
it is.
Dedication.
And, yeah, you can see that brush is worn down pretty bad too. So like, he's been scrubbing the heck out of it, hasn't he?
Did he say how many years he's been doing this? How long has he been coming out?
He probably did. I don't remember. Let's see. I was trying to pull up a couple more pictures here, but I don't know. For whatever reason, like if a picture, it came from like Instagram, it won't upload to StreamYard for some reason. So I apologize, y'all, for not having all the pictures that I wanted to show y'all tonight. But at least we got these up here. And he said that he would love to have that analyzed. He said that's why he was taking it. He had chipped off a good bit of that little piece so that he could have it analyzed. And he did mention, I think is it Roger that is the guy from Mud Fossil University? He did mention his name, and yeah, would have been cool. I think he was asking me if I knew how to analyze stuff like that. I think from what I can recall, but I mean, just imagine if there were real dragons.
Right.
I think there were.
Maybe there's some DNA in there.
Yeah. I know. I mean, just imagine. There's actually a band called Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, imagine it. And some people, like I know Eric E.D. Testerman. He's been on the show, and he has his own channel, The Bizarre and the Unknown, on YouTube, and he's shown pictures of what some people believe are dragons, which make up like mountain ranges and stuff across the United States, like huge dragons. So this one was a baby dragon in that case, because it was very small compared to a whole mountain range. It was like a hill, okay, not a whole mountain range. But nonetheless, I mean, it would have been big enough for me to ride on its back. Okay, so.
Wow.
Well, I bet there's different kinds of dragons, and they probably were all different sizes.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
For sure. Yeah. Well, when we talked about dragons before, we talked about the water dragons, and then the dragons that have wings and some that don't have wings.
Right.
And we even showed pictures from like medieval paintings. Y'all remember that? The medieval paintings where women oftentimes would be painted in portraits holding a baby dragon.
Yeah. And St. George, I believe.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a weirdo thinking there was no dinosaurs, that they were actually dragons.
Then we also talked about, and I think I brought it up, that if you look at Google Earth and you go between the two continents, it looks like there's a serpent head going between the two continents. And then if you line it up just right, it looks like the two continents are the wings of the dragon. And then the tail, you can see a little piece of the tail out in the water.
Wow. I was trying to think. It seems like when Brad Olson was on the show, I think it was Brad. Maybe we're showing. Maybe it was Eric. I can't remember. But we were looking at the tip of South America right there, because South America is not too far from Antarctica, right? And it looked like the head of a lizard or a dragon or something like that right there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be pareidolia too, y'all. Okay, like a lot of this, like it looks like dragons, and it might not have been. But what if it was? What if it was?
You got to keep your mind open. I mean, it's not too hard to see dragons or reptiles in those pictures that you were showing. I mean, you don't have to stretch your imagination to see it.
Correct. Yes. And this was actually part of my data. So I wanted to pull this up. This is actually the serpent mound out of Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of sacred ground, sacred area, just like this area that I remote viewed. Okay. The coordinates are what I remote viewed.
Now,
Okay, so the coordinates of that area.
Do you know at that site down in those woods, there is actually a spire or like an obelisk that looks like an Egyptian obelisk, and they took it down and they dumped it in the middle of those woods back there over the hill.
No, I
Yeah,
did not do that.
people have been going out there and finding it. They try to find it and locate it, and a couple have. So
Wow.
No way.
Yep.
Wow. Well, this. Okay, so I wanted to show this because it's really interesting that it is. Like, remember I mentioned Stonehenge was in my data too.
Right.
Stonehenge, and Stonehenge is lined up with the lunar cycles or something, right? It's like some kind of solar alignment map or something. I don't know. I don't know my
It's definitely a calculator for astrological signs and the seasons.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is showing the solar alignments, and they line up perfectly to some of the curvatures of the serpent in the mound. Okay, so could be something similar to what that dragon is. I mean, if it's not an actual petrified dragon, it seems to be something that's sacred. Okay. And that is very, very heavily like Native American land there too, indigenous peoples live there. There's no telling what all has occurred on that land. Okay. And according to like William Nighthawk, he says that that the area is so full of cryptids. Okay, and I'm talking about in Alabama, so full of cryptid activity, big time full of cryptid activity, especially Bigfoots, aggressive Bigfoots. Families and groups of Bigfoots are sighted there pretty often. He's talked about land like that being cursed by shamans. Okay, cursed by medicine men, medicine women, cursed or blessed. It depends on how you look at it. To guard the land at all costs, at any cost, that land has to be protected because it's sacred.
Do you think that they're aggressive? More aggressive?
Probably.
Okay.
Maybe so. Yeah, I don't see any other reason why other than they just don't like people. But I don't know. Yeah.
Well, they probably are stewards of the land, and they're put there to protect, whether they're there to protect the ley lines or a deposit of minerals, whether it's quartz or whatever it is that store energy. And plus the portal, you said there was a portal there. So they're probably guarding that portal to see what comes in and what goes out.
That's a great point, actually. That's a really good point. And we do know that there are natural portals all over the earth. That was another remote viewing target that Barry Littleton gave me about 2 years ago, was Earth's weaponized natural portals. And that was the one where I ended up on the sun. I was remote viewing the sun, but the sun's a portal apparently too, according to some people. But it was just odd that a lot of that target I was remote viewing the sun for that.
Yeah. So if you actually go into the sun, you go through a portal or a wormhole, and you end up in a whole nother civilization.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, human, and Caleb says there's also human dragon hybrids.
Dragon hybrids.
What about the draconians and stuff? Would they be descended from dragons?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard the theory that Elon Musk found dragons and other things that deep in the ocean and brought up their DNA and was incubating them, and he's now storing them in some of his specialty factories?
No.
To create dragons?
Yeah, that's all over the internet too. I don't know if it's true or something made up, but it is very interesting that we're talking about dragons, and that story pops up too.
All right, things are going to get weird. We're going to have flying dragons here.
We could have a Jurassic Park someday.
Oh my gosh.
I think we already do. And what's even more weird is that we were just talking about Elon Musk last Thursday, a week from today, a week ago. Our Kim Ra was on the show. He had given me a target that turned out to be was like human colonies on Venus. Okay, and I believe Elon Musk some claim that he's from Venus, he and his family.
Right.
So was Nikola Tesla. They say he was from Venus.
Mhm.
Valiant Thor was from Venus. I mean, a lot of,
Right.
there's people that met at the White House that were supposed to be Venusian as well, right?
Yep.
So what a coincidence. We're talking about this again.
Yeah.
Very, very strange coincidence there. But
Out of everybody in this world, Elon, that would be the one person I would think that would be able to do it and have technology to get it done.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it is really wild. I do, what really struck me was that Elon Musk, SpaceX, had been working with NASA to colonize Venus and Mars. They've been working on that for a while. Why wouldn't there already be colonies there? I mean, they usually disclose that to the public well after they've already done it. Okay, like they've already done it. And if people have been, coming from Venus for so long, and we're told that Venus is like not, you can't colonize it. You can't actually go into the surface of Venus. It's like hell. They literally say it's like hell. But you can live in airships in the atmosphere above Venus, they say.
Right.
So
there's a theory out there now that, what if the oceans were space? What if when people are talking about exploring space, they're actually talking about what's down in our oceans? Because there's so much stuff in there that we have not ever explored. And as far as the Elon thing, if you look up Ocean X, you start going down that rabbit hole.
Ocean X?
Yep. Just like SpaceX, but Ocean X.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I have heard that theory before too. And I just remembered something. Okay. So we all did that show. I know about half or more of my audience is not super into the flat earth theory. Okay. And I know.
Here we go.
That show, I still have people arguing on my social media posts about that. I just wanted to let both of you guys know that I did do a show. I met with a man named Mark Sargent, and he is he's like the leading flat earther guy on YouTube. And we did a show together coming soon. I'll let you guys know when it comes out. Not on my channel, not yet. I would like him to come in and talk, because we had one of the most interesting conversations I have literally ever had. Actually, talking to somebody, and it was, I'm not saying he changed my mind on flat earth. I'm just saying it was a really great conversation that we had, and it was a back and forth, and it was really good. So I'll let you guys
go
know
down that rabbit hole. There is pros and cons that you do go, oh my gosh, that does make sense. So it's not like we are believers, but you just got to think, what if?
I'm starting to come to the realization, or thinking more about it. Not that I believe it, but just wondering about it. What if the globe and the flat earth happens at the same time? What if it's interchangeable depending on what circumstances or what happens?
Well, depending upon what simulation we're in or something.
That's a possibility.
That's kind of where our conversation went, actually. So, I just really appreciate everybody here on our channel over here, as we keep an open mind about everything.
Yeah.
And so I love it. I love having you guys on the show, because we all just are very inquisitive. We want to know more. And I love hearing everything from every angle. Okay. And so we can learn more. My mind is always, I'm always willing to change my mind on stuff. Okay. Yeah, it's very fluid.
It never hurts to hear some, even if you don't even believe in flat earth, or would never even get a chance. It's always neat to have that one little thing that sparks your imagination, or what if. I mean, that's what life is all about, to wonder and to explore and to find out and search for the truth, or whatever kind of explanation that makes sense to you and your world, or your view out your window.
Well, you got to think, when you're investigating, it's kind of like the court system. You don't want to just hear one thing, slam the gavel down and go, that's it. That's my opinion. I'm closed-minded. That's it. Well, about the other side, don't they have a chance to prove their evidence and their case? So if you look on both sides, just for curiosity, you could possibly see some pieces of the puzzle that you need, or it makes you just think like, oh, that does make sense. So you have to look at both sides. You can't just be closed-minded and just say, well, that's it. This is my opinion, and I'm not going to change it.
I know. I'm having too much fun, exploring these things and just looking into it. And I mean, life is too short to not question everything.
Yeah,
I'm
have
just
fun.
it was fun. Have fun.
Yeah.
Caleb says the Dracanafil, I think is how you pronounce that, are the human dragon hybrids.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they do show us things like this on like Game of Thrones, for instance, with is it Khaleesi? You know, like House of
the rock
Dragon.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think shows like Game of Thrones show us a lot of self-disclosure, even when it comes to like the White Walkers. You know, I've been told that Wendigos are very much like White Walkers.
Oh yeah. I hope you got some obsidian spears and knives handy.
I stay strapped with obsidian spears. I'm just kidding. I need to. I don't know. It is gonna ice over tomorrow. I better load up tonight.
You never know.
You never know. Yes, lock and load with the obsidian spear.
You better pretend like you're deep in the Appalachians and close those windows and blinds. Keep those,
oh my gosh,
those curtains closed.
Yes, you know, I'm a huge proponent of curtains and blinds. Okay. I saw another video. Okay. I get sent all these videos all the time. I have some great friends who are on, you know, social media that send me stuff. And I think like Arc Echo Type, maybe, who's in here. I don't know if he's in the chat tonight, but he sent me a video of what looked like an owl looking at somebody's window, but it almost looked like oh God, it was horrible. I'm thinking like, why do these people not have blinds and curtains on their windows, you know? And there were like 3 sets of eye shine in the background, and it's just like an owl was tapping on their window, but it wasn't an owl. Okay, so curtains and blinds, y'all. Okay, everybody, please put curtains and blinds on your windows. A towel, get something to tack up, a blanket. I don't know if you're living out in the, you know, in the middle of the Appalachians or somewhere like that.
Maybe it was bringing a message from Hogwarts to come join him at the school.
Yeah, maybe so. But yeah,
it's outside our window and not quite sound like an owl. I mean, I'm talking right outside our bedroom window, and I'm thinking this is interesting.
Oh gosh. Well, most people know my story with owls, how they were hooting at me one night and I hooted back and then they chased me. It sounded like rabid monkeys. So I have I love owls, but they hate me sometimes, I guess. So just don't hoot back if you don't know their language, I guess.
The last couple of years we have a little screech owls, itty bitty little things, and they trill, they go, and so I've been talking back and forth with them the last couple of years. It's really fun, and they do trill back, but I haven't been attacked yet. So,
oh my gosh,
well, you know, doing all these shows and talking to all the guests, and you know, especially you, Jessica, you probably know that everything that you see or hear may not be what you think it is.
Yeah, that's very true. We've been talking about that a good bit too, even with the invisibility cloaks and suits we've been talking about. The quantum stealth technology that's out there as well. With that Glimmer Man, I think one of the most interesting shows. I mean, all my shows are so interesting. Okay, all of them. But that Glimmer Man show we did a couple of weeks ago was really interesting because we were showing all this technology that humans have their hands on, and it can distort what we're actually seeing and experiencing in this world. And so you see a motorcycle, it's actually a big old tank. Okay, but you're seeing a motorcycle, but it's actually a tank, and it's probably about to shoot at you. Okay, and stuff like that. Weird stuff, really weird stuff. But I mean, Bigfoots and Dogman and all these cryptids are able to change in front of us. Reptilians, for instance, right? Reptilians, like it's almost like holographic technology of some kind.
There's you're talking about technology for cloaking and for the hiding our equipment in the military from being on radar or spotted from other armies. But now they have technology that's getting ready to come out to our phones. So by the time we hit 7G, maybe 6G, but probably 7G, they got technology. It's going to be a chip in our phone that when you have it next to your body, it can sense whether you're sad or you're happy. So if you see a product online or whatever, and it makes you happy, guess what they're going to push towards you?
Wow.
So it's gonna be able to read your, not necessarily your aura, but your frequencies coming out of you, whether you're happy, sad, emotional, what makes you tick, the music that make you like.
Wow.
Yeah,
Talk about no privacy. You can't
I know,
even
right?
cry and be sad about something and they'll know about it.
So that's coming very soon. So that's kind of almost like the same kind of technology, and it won't take long if they can connect with you that way. How long is it going to be before they'll be able to project or make you think that you're seeing something that you're really not?
Mm-hmm.
I think they already have that technology.
Oh, I know they do, but I'm just
They
saying, wait
do.
till they roll it out for everybody.
Yes. Well, I mean, they're already able to project commercials into our dreams and stuff.
Yes.
Right. We've heard that too. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yes. My go-to example is, waking up wanting a McMuffin. Okay, here's something. Hash browns, a coffee, and a McMuffin, if y'all know what I mean. Okay.
Yep.
Kent says that we do live in a holographic creation. Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we definitely do. And
Well,
yeah,
speaking of that, I still wonder if some of those orb videos could be holograms that people have been videotaping.
The drones.
To me,
Yeah.
why not? They could be holograms easily.
Yes, yeah. That hologram Tupac comes up a good bit, Area 51. Yes, that was in my remote viewing data for the Miami Mall aliens, which was actually 1 year ago,
Yeah.
January 1st. That was really strange too. I mean, whatever was going on there, I do believe was some kind of holographic projection, when it came to that.
Well, they've been spraying our skies for so long also. They've got it prepared for a shield up there, and then all these orbs started showing up, and some of them just looked almost, AI, CGI, and I was kind of thinking, well, why not holograms?
Yeah, that's
But
right.
a lot of people can see that one object, and it's not really up there. They shot it up there with a hologram. Just makes food for thought.
Oh my gosh. John says, ads in your dreams. Imagine having to subscribe for ad-free sleep. Oh my gosh. That's a horrible thought. Yeah, you have to pay extra to not have ads in your sleep. I mean, just take me. I hope the aliens come and take us out of here at some point.
Yeah.
All I know is if I order
Take
something
me.
through Amazon while I'm sleeping, I should not be responsible for it while I'm awake.
Oh, that's right.
I did not order that when I was awake.
Oh my gosh. Area 51 says he would not mind dating his phone. Come on. Come on. That's wild. And that's something else that I think about a good bit, is like people are volunteering to put these chips in their brains and stuff too. I mean, that's not smart, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean,
the man's not from Earth, he's from Venus.
He's from Venus. That's right. So y'all just remember that. We could be from Venus. I know somebody in the chat when we were talking about him being from Venus said, I think he's from Mars, but I think I've been told he was from Venus. I've heard that from several sources.
What was that relationship book out that came out? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, something like that.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was a book. It was pretty popular back in the 90s or the early 2000s. Yes. Yeah. It just shows how different we are. They ain't lying.
Or where we came from.
Or where we came from. Yeah, I think they're just saying we're from two different worlds, is what it is. Sometimes, yes. Yes, we are for sure. But nonetheless, yeah, we're living in really crazy times right now. Crazy things going on. And
I think it's going to get crazier.
It's every day. It's something new. Yeah.
Flying dragons is going to be next.
Yeah.
The other thing, and I know you talk about it, the loosh and all this, and we got to be careful of being fearful. And if ever something comes out where they're pushing us to be fearful, be careful. Don't be concentrating or thinking about it all the time, because that's how they get us to manifest things. That's how things that have never existed in this world before, whether it's cryptids or any kind of entity, we've sometimes have created those things just out of fear.
The collective consciousness. Yes, we have to be very careful. That's why, we've kind of been conditioned to live in a box and to live in a gray, drab world with ugly architecture and all that kind of stuff, like the prison planet, right? And we kind of came accustomed to it because this is the way of life. We're always working hard. We don't play as hard. We don't have time. We're always so busy working. And I think now it's just, let's work on seeing things differently and thinking outside the box. That's what I'm always saying. Let's think outside the box and expand our consciousness here and think about what if we lived in just a beautiful world full of flowers and trees and, beautiful architecture again, and like the Tartarians lived.
Right.
So let's go back to that, because we can't have that. We don't have to live in this world that they're putting us in, and worrying about putting chips in our brains, and I don't know.
So all your people that are in chat now are going to see this video. The thousands and millions of people are going to view this video. Let's all manifest a beautiful world that we can all live in peacefully and in harmony.
Yeah.
Let's all start that manifestation and get it going.
Yes, full of nice dragons, the ones that want to help us.
Ones that we can fly and pet, and they talk to us.
Or we all have pet dragons.
Yeah, how to train a dragon.
I want a pet dragon.
Yes, we can all have pictures. All of us ladies can take pictures on Instagram with our pet dragons in our laps.
Ooh,
just like the Victorian day. See,
selfies with our dragons.
I'm down. I'm totally down. I want a baby Bigfoot and a dragon and a little puppy Dogman, a Dogman pup. Yes, and it's a beautiful. I mean, listen, I know it's crazy. I have wild ideas. I have wild and crazy thoughts about stuff. But I mean, if I can imagine it, I can have it. Right.
Right.
We all do create our own reality. And
that last picture you pulled up, it almost looked like a little baby dragon. I can just picture him going, just kind of purring.
Yes. It's all fun and games until they grow up to be gigantic and want to burn the city down.
Just like teenagers.
Yeah.
Fire-breathing dragons.
Yes. Well, hey, Alabama might have a dragon in North Alabama in the middle of a national park. And so, I mean, hey, look at things differently too. This thing was hidden in plain sight.
Right.
Okay, whatever this is, it's something. It 100% looked like a dragon. This gentleman has been going out in the woods for a long time, cleaning it off, and claims it's a dragon. I mean, like I said, look at that brush. You can tell he's been brushing this thing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And he had pulled all the leaves off of it and everything, all the dead leaves, the dead brush, and took pride in this thing. And so just imagine dragons. In Alabama.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah. But like I was saying, I lost my train of thought there. Pay attention. Look at things differently. If something looks like a dragon, it might be a dragon.
Right.
Something looks like a large elephant, it might be an elephant.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't let people tell you you're crazy. Just go with it. Okay. I mean, maybe we are a little crazy. Maybe we are.
If we can have petrified trees, why can't we have petrified animals?
Right.
Petrified mushrooms. What is that? What is that? The mesa? Devil's Tower. Yeah. Giant trees that have been cut down.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and then link it. Okay. So I always bring up that UFO that got shot down where the soldiers were turned to stone. Connect the dots with that, y'all. Okay. How did all these things become petrified? And they look like they're all frozen in time. They're not laying down like they're sprawled out dead, like they all passed out. They're standing up. They look like they're eating. They look like they were frozen midlife, like while they were in the middle of doing stuff, like those Pompeii. Is it Pompeii?
Pompeii,
the
right?
People in Pompeii who were flash burned, that kind of thing. It's kind of like that. It's like what would have happened where these things would have been frozen in time, mid motion.
Yep.
Okay. Something happened.
Living their everyday life, or some of them, and then all of a sudden they were just stuck forever in time.
Well, wasn't it the witch in the wardrobe? Were they froze to death, or were they turned to stone in that movie?
They were turned to ice, I believe.
It was ice, or was it stone?
No, I think they were frozen.
Okay. It was similar.
She was like the Witch of the North.
Wow. And it's that right there, I don't think that's a natural rock formation. I just don't.
The eyeball and everything. That's crazy.
It's got teeth. It looks like a T-Rex.
One of your pictures that you were showing of the woods, I swore I saw an eyeball.
Yeah, I
Not
can go
that
back to some of the pictures. Like I said,
Not that one. That right there. Look behind that tree.
right
On
here
both
is where the
sides.
body is, right here.
It looks like a
That's
shape
the
of an
wing.
eyeball.
Oh,
You see the eyeball by the tree?
It could be. That's actually
yeah.
the wing. So like right here where I'm pointing down, that's part of
Mhm.
the wing, where the wing kind of
Yeah.
goes down right there. So
Yeah, and that too. It just to me, when you were showing those earlier, it looks like an eyeball behind that tree.
yeah,
Wow.
that right there is part of its neck. And like I said, you'd never even see it if it had not been pointed out to me. I would have never
Right.
noticed it. It just looked like it was part of the landscape right there.
Well, learn to trust weird thoughts that come to your mind right away.
Mhm.
You're more
That's
spot on with these weird things that just pop in your head.
yes, that's right. That's right. So
Oh, flying.
I know. I wish I had one of those screens where I could like draw, like, I
Oh,
could do
yeah.
like they do with like NFL games and stuff, like where they have the ESPN
Yeah.
pad. I could like draw and like show you guys, but I had to use your imagination. And that was the dragon in Alabama there. So yeah,
Wow.
pretty fascinating stuff. So
Yep.
Wow.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, well, I don't know, you guys. I think this has been a pretty fun show tonight. This has
Yeah.
been pretty
Oh,
fun.
I've enjoyed it tremendously. It's been fun.
Thank you,
Awful lot.
man.
We might be in for some strange stuff here coming up.
I think we are. Every day is strange.
Yeah.
But we never run out of stuff to talk about. So that's
Right.
good.
That's
There's
true.
always something.
Yeah. It's just creating more podcasts.
There's always something cool to
Just
talk
when you
about.
think you've seen it all, you wake up tomorrow and there's something new.
That's right. There's always something new, and hopefully it's not tragic and traumatic and terrible. So
Well, I hope we go from drones to dragons. Maybe we will have some flying
yes,
dragons in the sky.
I know. Well,
I think the drones are done, aren't they? We're not hearing anything about drones anymore. They just suddenly stopped.
it's like magic.
Yeah.
They disappeared. They just disappeared.
Maybe we'll have dragons one of these mornings flying around.
Yes. Well, we had mentioned something about Jurassic Park. I do think there probably is a Jurassic Park somewhere.
There is.
Yeah. Well, we have something called the Georgia Raptor, the velociraptors that have been spotted. There was a grandpa and his grandson were going out hunting early one morning, and they encountered what they said looked like a velociraptor,
Wow.
a big one in Georgia, in North Georgia.
Wow.
Well, in the Congo, they're still finding remote areas where the natives and the civilizations that live there are still saying they're seeing dragons or dinosaurs anyway. And if they're actually really taking woolly mammoths from Alaska or the northern tundra and taking DNA and crossing it with elephants, eventually they're going to have to put those somewhere. So they're going to have to create a zoo or a park or somewhere to keep those. So that's a Jurassic Park, and they've probably already done it. We just don't know about it yet.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Me too. I mean, I've also seen a bunch of videos, and it's probably AI. It's so hard to tell what's real and what's not with all this AI, all this AI mumbo jumbo. I mean, those pictures that I showed you guys, I made those with AI. Okay, so the dragons, they look like they could be real, but they're not. They're AI. But I've seen videos of dragons in a lab, and it's like, well, unfortunately, I do feel like sometimes they put out real stuff, but it looks so fake, and they put out fake stuff too, so it's hard to decipher what's real and what's fake. I mean, some of those videos of dragons in the labs could be real.
Right.
And then we have stories of people saying in Pennsylvania and over that area that they've seen dragons or at least pterosaurs flying in the air. So I don't know. I think they're out there.
There are a lot of I've had firsthand accounts of people who have seen pterosaurs. Javier with Cryptid 559 is in the chat tonight. What's up, Javier? Thank you for being here. He and his team have seen pterosaurs. They've seen a pterosaur out in California. And Jason McLean, I used to do shows with him all the time. Jason McLean has had his own. He had me remote view into his pterosaur sighting a while back in Texas. And there's actually a book. I can't remember the name of the book. There's a book that someone wrote about pterosaurs sightings, modern day pterosaur sightings.
Yep,
Pterodactyls are real. Yeah, there's Javier right there. He says pterodactyls, yes, they are real.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Cat Chaser, thank you for that super sticker. Jessica, please remote view what happened to David Adair. Okay, I don't know who that is, but I'll look into it. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I will definitely look into that. But yeah, if you guys have ever had a pterodactyl sighting or seen a dinosaur yourself, let us know. I'd love to hear about it. Shoot, I'll even bring you on the show if anybody has seen. Even Thunderbirds too. You know, Thunderbirds were actually Thunderbird was in my data for that dinosaur. Well,
Right.
I mean, what if that's actually a Thunderbird? Okay,
Right. Yeah.
could be.
That's why I said it's probably easy, especially when they're flying up high in the sky. It's probably easy to mistake. Somebody might say it's a dinosaur, and others might say it's a thunderbird or a pterodactyl.
Yeah. Hillbilly Herb says, I had a psychology course on the nature of reality, and we spent a lot of time discussing dragons. What does real mean to you? It's a good point. What is real? What is real? Hey, we all create our own reality, right?
Right.
And what's real to me is something that I've experienced is not what the average person has experienced. So it's hard for people to wrap their head around things that I've experienced.
Yeah.
And but it's real to me, but it may not be real to other people.
Reality is what your perception of this world is. That's all it is. Well, however you perceive it, that's what's real to you.
That's right. That's right. And I want to say thank you to 880. Thank you so much for gifting a Cryptid Hunters membership tonight. That is so sweet. Yeah, you guys too can become members of the Hunt Club if anybody wants to. It's my channel membership here on YouTube if you guys are watching on YouTube tonight. But yeah, that's a wonderful point. I don't ever force people or try to force people to believe what I believe. You know,
Right.
I put out information as I know it. Okay, we put out data that comes through with these targets and stuff. We just put out data, and you can make your own decisions on stuff. And I'm just here for entertainment purposes. Okay, we're just here for entertainment, and we're a good place for people like ourselves to come and talk about our experiences together. I think a lot of people can relate. Yeah,
And keep an open mind.
always the heat, never the sleep. That's right, Area 51. I actually do have to sleep though sometimes. Okay, I do. I know I'm up late occasionally working on stuff, but yeah. Tonight,
Juan just gifted 5 memberships.
oh wow.
nice.
Just a little ways, just a little bit ago. He just gifted 5 memberships.
Well, I'll be Area 51. Thank you so much. That is very sweet of you. I
See, I'm
appreciate
modding
that.
when I'm on your show.
I know you are. You are. Well, everything has been moving so fast tonight. I keep having to go back and check because I can't. I'm having a hard time keeping up tonight. This is amazing.
Eventually, you're going to have to put it on slow mo for your chat.
Yeah, you might have to.
I did not even know that was an option.
Yeah,
So
It slows it down.
You can slow down your chat. I'm not sure how you do it, but it's there somewhere.
well, I will figure that out. Thank you so much, Juan. That is so sweet of you. The one and only Area 51. You did 5 Cryptid Hunters memberships. Well, I'm gonna have to put out another membership video. I just put one out like 2 days ago. The audio was a little crackly on that one. I'm sorry, y'all. So we'll put out another membership. We got a lot of new members tonight after this show. So thank you guys so much for everybody who's giving memberships tonight. Everybody who's gotten one. Congratulations, y'all.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the Hunt Club. Yeah. This is always fun, man. I have so much fun. Who needs to go clubbing? We got the Cryptid Hunters channel.
That's right.
You don't need to go to the bar. Y'all come over here and hang out with us. Okay.
It's safer to stay home anyway.
It's more fun to stay home and hop on YouTube. It really is, especially with you guys and your channels, and we just have a really good time. So yeah, this has been a really fun show tonight. Really great show. Also, it's been wild. Talking about the California fires and everything too. Still, my heart goes out to everybody that's been affected by that, and we're still praying for everybody.
Speaking of that, you said something about a confusion. Was that a confusion spell? And
Yes,
then you said curse.
Yes,
Right.
That was according to the UFO data. It was like confusion spell, magic.
Well, don't you think we've all been under a confusion spell the last couple of months with the drones and everything, causing all kinds of confusion, and they're just continuing a confusion spell, and now it's focused in that area. It does seem like we've all been under a confusion spell.
So we've had both coasts. So
Yes.
now it's going to be mid-America. So I don't know. They got to come to the central part to get the rest of us, I guess.
Well, they're getting us with the
Man.
storms.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Fog.
The middle is getting either. This is something else that's weird before we go. Has anyone else noticed the last couple of years these crazy storms that are coming through? There's always tornado warnings down south, but blizzard warnings up north in that same storm these last couple of years. And it happened again the other day. Tornadoes down south and then blizzards up north. So yeah, they're hitting the Midwest. We're getting it
man.
differently.
Well, we're not used to getting this like Arctic blast down here in the
Right.
south. And so that's something that I mean we're all a little nervous about it at times whenever it ices, because we have a hard time with ice down here in the south. We have a really hard time with ice, and so I was just glad that they postponed that UFO conference I was supposed to speak
Yeah.
at. Actually, yeah, I canceled all my plans to go up there for that because I just don't want to get stranded and stuff.
Right.
I don't want to get stranded on the road because, like I said, we can't handle ice down here, and we're never fully prepared for that. Yeah, the black ice. That's
Yeah,
the word.
black ice. Mm-hmm.
The only ice you want is in your tea.
Yes, in my tea, in my cup. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, well, we're going to be staying warm tomorrow and tonight, and I know everybody's worried about power and all this kind of stuff, and
Right.
everybody cranking up their generators. They got them. Whatever. I tend to try to think on the good side. Like, don't even think about the power going out. Don't even think about it. It's not going to happen, because that's when you start creating that reality.
Yeah.
So we're going to be fine. We're going to be warm. We're going to have plenty of food. Everything we need. We're going to have. So, yeah.
Right. Stay positive. Stay away
know
from
how
the
to-
fear and the worry.
That's right. We know how to go chop down trees if we need to. We'll have some firewood.
Yeah.
We'll be
There
fine.
you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps having a son that likes to chop wood too. So
You always stay warm chopping wood.
that's right. That's right. Kerosene, propane heaters, and everything. So we're gonna be okay. But yeah. Oh yeah, and that fog. I just noticed that Trey had mentioned the fog.
Oh yeah.
Watch out for that fog, y'all. It feels like we're getting hit with everything right now. We're getting hit with everything.
That's what I mean. What's next?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't say that.
Dragons.
Dragon. Yeah.
Dragons.
I'm going to manifest flying dragons, and they're all friendly.
Oh man. Okay. So we hear about this like Project Bluebeam, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
What if it's not an alien invasion? What if it's a dragon invasion?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Oh.
man. I tell you, think big, y'all. I know. Could be instead of alien, we're all expecting aliens. What if it's dragons? I'll be darned. Wouldn't that be something?
Uh-oh. How do you defend against that?
Yeah. I don't know. Go to your bunkers, everybody. I'm just
It
kidding.
didn't work out very good on the Game of Thrones, so I tell you that.
Your bunkers. Go hop on one. Just ride it out. I guess. Yeah.
Hope you're Tartarian or
We keep
Yeah.
saying eat popcorn during all this. Well, it's getting to the point that I think we need more than just popcorn.
Oh my gosh. Look, one of our favorite co-hosts ever right here, John Vendeventure, is in the chat,
Oh,
y'all.
hi,
Thank you
John.
so much,
Hi,
John.
John.
John, we were just talking about
Awesome.
you at the beginning of the show. I was letting everybody know that you were celebrating Christmas tonight with Monica. And,
Aw, Merry
and so-
Christmas.
Yeah. John is back home from the hospital, everybody. So
That's awesome.
continue prayers for John and his family right now. And thank you for being here, John. Go to relixbooks.com, y'all,
Yes.
and support
Yes.
John. Yeah.
good to see you, John.
Yeah, good to see you, John.
God, that makes me so happy seeing you here, John. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for checking in too. He's actually out in the Midwest as well. He's out in Oklahoma. I guess you consider that Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you?
Oklahoma's still
Okay.
Midwest.
Oh,
Yeah.
the plains. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a family reunion on the the Cryptid Huntress. We have everybody popping in chat. We talk about, and all of a sudden they're there.
We sure do. And well, everybody's talking about the different things that could be. We could have a unicorn invasion, a Bigfoot invasion.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully not reptilian invasion. Okay, but it could be all that Project Bluebeam. It doesn't have to come from the sky.
Right.
It
It's
come from
only, it's only the
the mall.
beginning of January in 2025. We got the whole year to go. We're going to run out of popcorn.
I know.
We'll never run out of popcorn. Yeah. Oh my God. Kent says the real alien invasion has already been averted. So okay, well, I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, I think some of the people walking among us are aliens. They're all good aliens. Okay. That's what I think. So
well, it's hard to have an invasion when they're already here among us.
Right. True.
That's true. Prophet Pre says Bigfoot was the first dragon rider. Okay. Well, you know what? I mean, I'm not saying if that's a dragon in Alabama, which I do think it could be. Bigfoots are out there, so they're guarding it.
Yeah,
for sure. So
they know it's sacred.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, John. All right. Well, this has been a fantastic show tonight.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I'm super excited that everybody was here tonight and that you guys came to visit and hang out with me, and tell everybody in the audience where they can find you guys and about your channels when you guys have shows and your shop, anything I want to talk about.
Yeah, you can find us at Midwest Night Watchers, and that's across all platforms. And you can find us on YouTube, Facebook. We have a Facebook group. We have Rumble, Spotify. You can find us on your audio platforms. And we also have a printful shop where you can buy shirts like this if you like.
Yep. And I have one with an owl on it. That's the little screech owl that I would trill last summer. And he showed up behind the barn and I took a picture. So this is kind of a new logo that we have, but that's the actual little screech owl that I'd go and he just trill back at me. So, and yeah, we do have a 24/7 going, so you can just watch. Well, last night we didn't know if it was a coy wolf or a coy dog or just a very fluffy, healthy coyote, but that showed up last night. During our show, we had a huge owl. It was not a screech owl. We had this huge owl on top of my Martin house during the show. And I looked over and went, whoa. Yeah, so you can see orbs and bugs and skyfish and rods and all kinds of weird stuff on our 24/7 and the deer and just all kinds of critters.
Raccoons.
Awesome. Well, I haven't seen him in about a month. He's probably sleeping now. Yeah. I haven't seen much skunks and raccoons, but the possums are still coming out, getting a little bit of food and then heading back into their little wormhole.
And then other than our piercing the veil on Sunday nights or Sunday evenings on our show on Midwest Night Watchers, we're starting to do Tuesdays and having guests on Tuesdays, and on the Night Owl Lounge on Wednesdays when we hang out with people in chat. We just started a new series called Straw in the Wind, which actually is a column that Jane's great uncle wrote for a regional paper in the area, and there's a lot of UFO original stories in it. And we're reading those live online from the actual columns.
1950s newspaper articles on UFOs.
I was watching that the other night and I was like, where are you getting all these articles? You're showing like advertisements and stuff. It was amazing. Super awesome.
My mother collected all this stuff. She was really big in the UFOs, Sasquatch. That's why I believe all this, because my mother told me about it when I was little. And of course I believe my mother, but she was in her 20s and early 30s and she was in the UFO group and she just collected newspaper clippings. And it was just amazing. What she was into back then. And I kind of inherited the box of all of this.
And to find out that Jane's relative actually had a column about UFOs.
Yeah. And I did not realize my great uncle actually did a column on the paranormal and stuff. I just kind of went, whoa, I thought me and my mom were the only weirdos in the family that believed in UFOs.
Oh my gosh. It's fantastic. Wow. That's wonderful. It's kind of like my family. Like my mom's always been into the paranormal, and my dad too, actually. But my great grandmother, my great aunt, I've talked about how they had a possible alien abduction when something came down, was hovering over their car on the highway up in Rome, Georgia, and they had missing time. and don't remember what happened. When they came to, they were like 2 counties over, and a long time had passed, and they were still on the road driving. They didn't know how they got there.
So the first one that we read from Jane's relative was actually Jane's grandpa's experience seeing bright lights and orbs in the sky. So it was actually an eyewitness detail from Jane's grandpa.
Yeah. So there's great uncles on my dad's side. So my mom's dad is a farmer, and he's the one that reported this and saw strange color lights coming out of a storm cloud.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we had that article.
That is fantastic. Wow. Well, you guys, everybody, please go to Midwest Night Watchers and subscribe and check it out. I know my mom's been watching y'all's cameras and coyotes and all that kind of stuff. I know she watches y'all's channel all the time too.
Well, tell her to get a hold of her if she ever sees a Sasquatch or Dogman. Because
I know I haven't seen a Sasquatch yet.
Well, I know that there have been times where I woke up and she told me she got up late and she was like, well, I was up all night watching those cameras.
Oh, when the orbs and stuff, it's just like, like last night I was watching 2:00 in the morning, 10 degrees outside. These things are just buzzing around. I'm going, these are not bugs. I still hear people telling us, oh, those are just bugs. I can prove it. They're bugs. I'm going, we don't have bugs when it's 10 degrees outside.
Oh my God.
It's something else that is showing up on the camera. They're dancing in front of the cameras, So,
oh my gosh.
Not when it's 10 degrees outside.
I love it. I love that. Jane, you've got a channel too. You got another channel where you do your music.
Yeah.
You know, for the audience about it.
Yeah, so everyone knows me as Chiro Sounds. And so, yes, you can see behind me, I've got gongs, PVC pipe drum, got hand pans, tongue drums. I just play all kinds of different instruments. I got singing bowls. I try to do some meditation videos. So, yeah, there's just a wide variety of different instruments and just all kinds of things to listen to.
Amazing. Yeah, you guys go subscribe to Chiro Sounds on YouTube as well. And I'm sitting here watching the chat. We got a couple of questions and stuff still. Prophet Pre-Music says, what's the difference between a Sasquatch and a Bigfoot? Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, because I've heard both. I've heard
they're the same thing. It's the same thing. I think Sasquatch would be like, I call them Bigfoots, okay, but it just depends on what region you're in.
Right.
It's regional.
And I think Sasquatch dates back to Native Americans, how we English their language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're the same thing.
They're the same thing. That's what I think. Yeah, we're even talking about, oh, by the way, so when we do that UFO conference in a couple of weeks, it got postponed from this weekend to February 1st. I'm planning a trip to the Expedition Bigfoot. There's a Bigfoot museum in Georgia. And it's it's a fantastic Bigfoot museum. I went a long time ago when my son was really small. We went, and it's probably 6 years ago or so. So I'm going to the Bigfoot museum. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Big Bigfoots in front of it or something that you said a relative made?
My cousin made it. Yeah, my cousin Jesse Duke. My cousin Jesse. Yeah, he made it. And yes, it's Jesse Duke, like on the Dukes of Hazzard. Yes, it is.
Duke boy.
He's a Duke boy. And he's an artist. He actually works at the High Museum of Art in Atlanta. And he's a fantastic artist. He made a gigantic Bigfoot made out of muscadine vines. And sculpted the face and the hands and the feet. And it's like 10 feet tall, and it stands out in front of Expedition Bigfoot in Cherry Log, Georgia. And it has eyes that light up through solar light. And so I'm sure when people ride by it, they probably have about have a wreck trying to see that thing. But yeah, so we're going to go do that in a couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
We're going to go learn some more about Bigfoots.
Get a picture of you standing next to the
yes.
The yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, thank you guys so much again for being here tonight.
Oh, thank you for asking. Anytime. Yeah, anytime at the last minute. We're usually available.
Awesome. Yes. I do everything last minute. Everybody who knows me, who does shows with me, you guys know that it'll be like an hour before showtime. I'm like, hey, you want to come jump on the show with me tonight? I do that every single show just about. So I'm a busy mom too. So people always forget a lot of people that watch my shows may not know I am also a super busy mom, and I'm always doing something. I'm always busy, and
you
but
have an Etsy shop. Everybody go to her Etsy shop.
Thank you. Yes, World Woman Goods, everybody. So, it's about time for me to restock. I'm getting kind of low after Christmas. It was a good Christmas, so
Awesome.
I want to thank everybody for all the support that everybody
cool.
gave. The only people that buy out of my shop are people that watch my shows. I'm sure.
Aww.
So I do appreciate it, but it's been a fantastic night. I hope everybody has a very, very safe weekend, and I will be back this weekend. I think it's Eric from Media Palace is coming on my show. Brown Dwarf linked us up, actually. Bigfoot Dwarf. Eric with Media Palace is coming on Saturday night, and he has some really interesting reports regarding Bigfoot in our national parks, and the National Park Service is not really investigating their Bigfoot reports and stuff. He's got Freedom of Information Act requests that he has piled up and stuff. A lot of great information, documented Bigfoot activity and stuff. We're going to be talking about all that on Saturday night. So you guys do not want to miss it. It's going to be another really fantastic show on Saturday night. And Eric will be brand new to the channel and hasn't been here before. And so please come back.
You better warn him about the chat.
Yeah. And then Sunday we have your friend Barry Littleton coming on our show.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, good. All right. Well, y'all go definitely check out Midwest Night Watchers on Sunday. Okay. And go see our friend Barry. Barry is a frequent co-host over here as well on the channel. So yeah, I'm going to go hunker down and go turn on all the heaters tonight.
Yep.
And my son's out of school tomorrow. So, hey, we get to sleep late tomorrow.
There you go. Get that house nice and toasty just in case.
Well, keep us updated.
I will. You guys stay warm too. And everybody, please stay safe. I hope everybody maybe learned a little something tonight and had fun. Okay. Just had fun. And I hope everybody stays safe, especially out there on the West Coast.
Yes.
Everywhere. We're all experiencing some kind of weirdness right now. Everybody. And so y'all just take care of each other, take care of your families, keep your head on a swivel, stay safe out there. And thanks again, y'all. Please go subscribe to Midwest Night Watchers and Shiro Sounds on YouTube. Follow them on Facebook. And y'all come back and see me on Saturday night. All right, everybody.
All right.
Thanks again for being here. And I will see you guys on Saturday. All right. Have a great day. Hey, keep your vibration high. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.